So, before we start, we'll do a real quick just recalibration. Uh, Try to let go of all the things undone, let go of all the things to do, all of the unclosed loops in your mind, and just go into the present moment where, without any effort, without any conscious decision making or striving, your body is miraculously thriving. All the cells are doing their jobs and replenishing and fighting off bad stuff and rejuvenating. It's unbelievable. As I'm speaking, the oxygen is entering my lungs and replenishing the blood. Toxins are being spewed out. Anytime things are spewed out, that's a good thing. So thank you, body and miraculous universe, for creating these systems. It's unbelievable. Help us to focus in this moment and in any moment on all of the things that are going right, all of the miracles that are happening in every moment when we can just pull back and focus on those things. Whenever we get overwhelmed with the things not going right, help us to remember how many things are. Thank you, universe, for all of our blessings. Amen. Welcome. One thing that I want to talk about today, just real quick, because I've been struggling a little bit lately, and struggling in the sense of balance. Hopefully you can see and hear, and I'm live. Welcome, Spotman. Saw you stumbled in here. It was great to see you this weekend. So, yes, balance. So I've been working a lot and not doing too much in HugNation, not doing too much in Burning Man, not doing too much artistically or creatively, or doing, which is not the worst thing in the world. I think that there's a really important, my grandpa used to say that life is work, worship, love, and play. So you can't take work out of it. The goal of life is not to be without effort and without work. On the contrary, I think that without work, life is incredibly maddening. You have to have tasks. You have to have things that fill yourself up with. Of course, until you get to a zened out. Oh man! Buddha nature. I apologize. I should not be allowed to yawn on the air. It's just not fair. So I've been struggling a little bit, especially, there's just so many things that I'm at a stage in my work life, and I'm sure many of us are, where it's not like our job isn't to move this stack of bricks to that area. And so it's very clear that it's just a matter of labor and effort to get from A to B. It's more challenges, unknowns, tasks that you don't know what the best outcome is, you don't know what the solution is, and so it's that struggle of trying to figure it out. And until you know what to do, that can be incredibly frustrating. I find it frustrating because I know that there are tasks to do, and yet I don't know how to do them. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know, And what's worse for me is when, to get to the next steps, I have to talk to people or interview people or call people, even worse, because I hate doing that. Anyway, so I was getting a little struggling with all of these things, and so last night I kind of wrote a letter to myself from the universe, and someone asked, "What did you say?" Gosh, what the hell is wrong with me? I can't stop yawning. And so the thing that I started to I came to like a two-part system of dealing with this stress. And the first part is kind of common sense stuff, It's like the idea of like, remember what's important, like that idea of like, well, nobody on their deathbed says they spent more time in work, time at the office, and remembering that all of the struggles and the stresses and the all of those things in the to-do list, those are all relatively unimportant. Those are all those things that are I mean, it's the key is to remember that that is the game within the game. Life itself is a game. And yet, while we live these lives, there's no harm in getting excited about, a pickup basketball game and getting sweaty and heated and trying really hard, as long as you remember that you're playing a game. And, don't kill yourself, don't get angry, don't hurt anybody, don't sacrifice what's important to you, because really, it's just a game. Work is that kind of game, It's get into it, psych up, if you want to get competitive or go for a ribbon or whatever, but it's still you're playing Pop Warner football, and don't confuse a little fake chrome trophy for truly winning. That's winning the game is not the same thing as winning what's important. That's stage one, right? Money, right? AJ is saying that money, that's part of the game. So step one is that reminding yourself, whoa, no matter, even though my supervisor is screaming at me that, oh, the world is falling apart, that's not true. The world is not falling apart. At the very worst, the company might not do as well, and I might be let go. And that leads us to stage two of this two-part process. Stage two is that, okay, we've understood that we've reminded ourselves what's important. Now, stage two, within the realm of what's important, we don't know what's best for us. So true, family is important, relationships are important. Having some way to support myself potentially is important. Finding a way to find food, important. But within that realm, I don't know if it's better to do A, B, or C. I don't know if this job if losing this job is bad or good. I don't know if, going to jail is bad or good for me. I don't know. I mean, even when you can pull out of the hypnotism of the world and money and go, yes, this is important. Family is important. Relationships are important. My art is important. We are in no position to know if losing our limbs is good or bad. If losing our home is good or bad. If having a family member, shipped off to sea for a year is good or bad. We don't know. Going to jail can be good. Tons of people will tell you that the best thing that happened to them was being incarcerated. Of course, a lot of other people that have been incarcerated will tell you that it was the best place in the world to get a facial tattoo. So it's not always a positive. But I think that two-step process can be really good at kind of shaking off that feeling of stress, because if you can acknowledge that I don't know if that's important at all, and then even knowing it's important, I don't know what's good or bad, it kind of takes that, well, how can I be too attached one way or the other, positive or negative, as to what's happening? If something I'm trying to get done doesn't happen, if something that I wish I did do, it's like all you can do is the best you can think of, the best that you can do at that moment. And it goes back to that whole interactivism thing. Like, if I'm going through the motions from a place of love when it's possible, if I'm trying not to compromise my morality, if I'm not being dishonest, then whatever happens is that how can I argue with that? Trying to manipulate the world in order for an outcome that my mortal little ego brain thinks is the right outcome is a fool's game. So that's my personal lesson to myself this week is, dude, work is not the end of the world. Work is not the beginning of the world. Work is not that important. And then once I get into the important realm, even then I don't even know it's important. So if I, who knows? I've been reading this. I think it's called. You know, I have. Well, let me grab it. Well, let me just stop. Let me stop the video, and we'll do a little. We'll do HugNation in just a second. Okay.